Good morning. Happy Monday. I hope you had a fantastic weekend and are ready to face this week. I had the privilege of attending our local Vet Fest and enjoying some of the activities, and just what a blessing it is to live in this country. The men and women who have fought for our freedom and who now currently serve to keep us free. What a blessing! And I don't think we realize what a privilege that is. I've been taking part of this 22 push-ups a day. It's to bring awareness that we have 22 veterans a day that commit suicide, and what this is an incredibly high rate, and just to bring awareness to that. But I got thinking, what can we do in our own lives to change that, to not feel, to have people who don't feel like they're just have no options and have no choices. And I just want to challenge you for this question, and I've been asking myself, how are the people around you doing? You know, it starts in our household first. They talk about our mission field is in our household first. So let's start with our own family. Let's take a look around. Let's take a time to connect. I know we get things going, and if you're in a family and you have kids and they get their own things going, and it's hard to connect. But you know what? Take those times. Set that time aside. For you of those are in ministry, is especially hard, right? Because ministry is so demanding and people need you so much. But you know what? It starts with your family. You have to make time for your family. You have to see how to make those connections and see how you're doing, and just have those conversations. And maybe it's not always this great in-depth conversation. Maybe it's just going and having some fun and enjoying each other. But to know that communication is open, that we can talk to each other, that we have somebody to share with, and we have somebody to confide in if we need be. How about your extended relatives, your sisters, your brothers, and your parents? How are they doing? And you know what, young person, I know I've got a couple of young people who watch this. When's the last time you asked mom and dad how they're doing? Or what can I do to help you out, mom? Or what can I do to help you out, dad, to lighten your load a little bit? Because you've done so much for me, and you've taken care of me, and be grateful, and let them know that you're grateful. But I just encourage you, you've got neighbors, you've got coworkers, you've got supervisors, you've got all these people in your life. When's the last time you went to your supervisor and say, you know what, how you doing? I'm not talking about work, but how are you? Are you doing okay? And just let them know that you care, that you're thinking about them. And it's just a cool thing to start thinking about how we can serve others, and how we're in a society that's all about me, right? This is my right. This is my time. I need me time. I need my girl time, and blah blah blah. And it's okay to have some of that, because I think you need some of it to be balanced. But that can't be the priority, right? Our families need to be the priority, our responsibilities to our families. In Romans 12:10, it says, love one another with brotherly affection, outdo one another in showing honor. And it just reminds us, we're not here to be selfish. We're to be the hands and feet of Jesus. And Jesus came, in fact, we'll go to that verse actually. We'll skip ahead a little bit. In Philippians 2:3-7, it says, I can find it here. Oh yeah. Do nothing from selfish ambition or conceit, but humility. Count others more significant than yourselves. Let each of you look not only to his own interests, but also to the interests of others. Have this mind among yourselves, which is yours in Christ Jesus, who, though he was in the form of God, did not count equality with God as a thing to be grasped, but emptied himself by taking the form of a servant. You know what? Jesus, being God, coming down from heaven, came here to serve. We need to have that servant heart and to make those connections. We get so caught up in, I know there's good intentions, and some people want to convert people by trying to force religion down their throat. You have to do this, this, and this. But you know what? Jesus built those relationships before he was able to speak truth into their lives, before they had to know that they genuinely cared. And we're not going to be able to influence people and affect people if we have no relationship with them. Galatians 5:13, it says, for you were called to freedom, brothers, only do not use your freedom as an opportunity for flesh, but through love serve one another. And I just think of that, it's so easy. Like I said, you want to do all these good things, and maybe you're involved in a lot of good things, but let's make our priorities our priorities. Let's start where we need to. If you're wondering where that should be, let's go to 1 Timothy 5:8. It says, but if anyone does not provide for his relatives, and especially for members of his own household, he has denied the faith and is worse than an unbeliever. So it starts at home. Our mission field starts at home. It's not just about going out and changing the world. Of course we want to do that, but um, but it starts at home, and it starts in our community, and it starts with those around us. Let's build those relationships. Let's see how people around us are doing. Let's make sure that they know, if they get in a bind, that they're not alone. If they, if they're facing something, I think that's one of Satan's biggest tools, is making people feel lonely and making people feel like they're the only one who have ever dealt with this particular problem or this, this particular situation, and they get that feeling of despair. So I just encourage you, and I'm going to be more intentional about it for sure, to go and to reach out to people, to make those phone calls, to take that time, to set aside some time to connect with each other, and to make that a priority, so we know that, at least the people in our sphere, at least that they know that they have us to reach out to build those relationships. Jesus was really good at building those relationships in his 3 years of ministry, and what a great example. And I think we ought to follow suit. And I just pose this question to yourself. How's your family doing? How's your neighbors doing? How are your colleagues doing? How are those who you influence around? Have some influence on around you. You've been put in a time and a place for a reason, and I just pray that you would just let God use you for the reason that He has, and also use you to pour into those people and just to build those relationships. I just pray that you have a blessed day. You keep fighting the good fight, and Lord willing, we'll see you Friday. God bless.